The Joe Rogan Experience.
Who you got in terms of, do you think Ferguson and Khabib will go down?
Who knows, man? Not if something happens this weekend. Justin Gaethje's a monster. Justin Gaethje is a monster. He's a monster. He's a terrifying individual. He is, I mean, in a sport that's violent, it's an inherently violent sport, he stands out as the most violent.
That's
you know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
I mean, you watched his knockout of Edson Barboza. You watch how that motherfucker attacks people. There's a reckless abandon to his calculated wildness that is it's terrifying. He's something special, and he's better all the time. The question is, how much has he been training? He's taking a fight on very short notice. He's taking the fight on essentially 2 weeks' notice.
Also, it might be kind of weird to train now in these coronavirus times.
Sure.
Like with training partners, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ray Longo, who I respect very much, said that fighters shouldn't be fighting because I don't know if he said they shouldn't be fighting, but he said he definitely felt like it wasn't fair to the fighters because they don't have a full camp. They're not going to be able to show who they really are.
That's a really good point.
It's a really good point, man. It's a really good point. This is a wild situation where there's a guy who's going to fight for the interim title. He gets the call. Look, that's also how Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor in their first fight. Remember that? That was 11 days out.
Yeah.
They call Nate Diaz. He's eating tacos, fucking drinking tequila in Mexico.
And probably doing triathlons, but...
Well, on the side,
yeah.
for sure. Well, he's never out of shape, really. Like, at a normal person out of shape, like you or I would get. But for Justin Gaethje, it really depends entirely on how much time he's been spending in the gym. Now, he's a man with a plan, right? He's trying to be the UFC lightweight champion. So he's probably not getting too out of shape. And he probably knew that in this case there is a potential that one of those guys could drop out because they've already made that fight 4 fucking times and it fell apart. So this is the 5th time it's fallen apart, which is nuts.
That's crazy.
So it might be that Justin Gaethje knew that this was a possibility that he could be called in as a replacement. He might be in full camp mode. We really don't know. We'd have to talk to him.
Conor McGregor knew all along.
Conor McGregor knew.
He called it.
Knew. I called it.
Yeah.
He was another one that I'm sure was probably getting ready. But
I'd love to see him fight in 2020. But
Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson would be fire.
Yeah.
Woo!
Why didn't that
Do you think
happen?
people have to be on standby for last-minute fill-ins? Or is that
I
like,
think
who
there are
knows if
some
that's
people that
possible?
they ask to be on standby. They have definitely done that before, and they've asked guys to make weight. And there's a lot of guys that have been through a full camp, and they're paid for a full camp, and they're paid to make weight. And this is something that's happened several times in the UFC's history, where guys show up because they're there to fight and step in if something falls apart. Especially if you have a guy who maybe struggles with weight cutting and you might fall apart and get pulled from a fight, or someone who's maybe injured or sick and they're like a little nervous with this fight.
We're getting super fights every week. Do you think?
I don't know, man. If
On the island?
if they build Enter the Dragon Island,
You're going to commentate, right?
yeah, but Enter the Dragon Island. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do it. I don't know how it's gonna be done.
Please
I don't know
wear
if
the tracksuit.
I want to
Please.
dress like Bruce Lee.